big victory for the people who support parental rights or against the mutilation of children or medical experiments in children, or anyone who really had an opinion about anything 10 years ago and then looked around and said, where's the world going? The Conservatives have now entered the war on gender ideology fully. You could say the last few weeks they've been dipping their toes in the pool. Now they are going for a swim. You know what I mean by this? So you had Danielle Smith in Alberta, so that's Canada's most conservative province, finally put forward a bill to say, okay, enough with the puberty blockers and irreversible surgeries for minors, right? Not banning it for adults, still libertarian. Adults can do what they want to do, but we're going to stop children from getting these crazy surgeries. And then Poilievre, after sort of being a bit silent on it for a while, then went out and when asked about it, would defend Danielle Smith. And then when asked about it again, he sort of doubled down in his defense of Danielle Smith and sort of continued his defense to a bit more of an attack, where he, one of the things he did say is, the reason why you are not pointing out what is actually in the bill is because you don't want what is described in the bill to be said. That's what he said to a reporter. And that's an important point we'll get into in a bit. But now, today, he has gone into full-on tweeting offensively about it. So here's Poilievre's tweet, right? It's not huge. Canadian support Premier Smith's common sense protections of children. Trudeau must butt out, right? And repost a National Post article that nearly half of Canadians support banning surgery and hormones for trans kids. Exclusive poll. Now, the numbers are much likely higher than that. But the important thing to note here is this is Poilievre, unprompted, going on the offensive. And this is what we need if we want to win this argument, is a bit of offense here. Because this issue, like many others, but this issue in particular in the political realm is mostly one on framing. And this is something the political left is very, very good at. They take ideas like, hey, we're just going to start performing wild medical experiments on your kids for progressive causes. Now, if anyone is scientifically inclined, you would know there's no way we have any viable long-term studies on the effects of puberty blockers, hormone treatments, or surgeries on these kids. And if anything, the early data indicates, well, one, people who get these surgeries are more likely to commit suicide than not. And again, the big scaremonger on this is if you don't go along with what these radicals say about your kids, they will kill themselves. Turns out if you go along with what the radicals say about your kids, they're more likely to kill themselves. And the vast majority, about 60 to 80% of the kids who experience some gender confusion by the end of puberty, they just come out and realize that they're most likely homosexual, and they come to grips with this and live happy and productive lives. But the way the left has been framing this is, yes, they've used the suicide scaremongering thing, and that's just a lie. But the gender affirming care, healthcare for transgender youth. Are you against healthcare for transgender youth? Like, no one would be against that. But are you against medical experiments on kids, removing healthy sexual organs on kids, irreversible hormone therapies, and all this, right? It's how you frame it, right? So if the Conservatives have a platform to control the narrative, they're one of the major political parties. If they get out there and offensively frame the narrative around the gender nonsense, much more Canadians will come over to their side. And another thing here, it's not just narrative framing on this, but there's a lot of fear mongering on this, and there's a lot of social anxiety. Let's call it cowardice. Let's just call it what it is. There's a lot of cowardice here, where people might support this position, but they're afraid to say it because they know it's unpopular and they will be attacked. So if you have the power of institutional backing, i.e. the entire Conservative Party, you come out on this, you make it much more likely that many other people will join you because they see, oh, there already is a social circle here. And once Canadians, well, any people know that more than 50% of some people believe something, people will just start to believe it. Many people want opinions that go along with the herd. So when you have visible proof, and this is a great poll to show, like, oh, no, over half of people think this. A lot of people who support gender ideology, they support it because they think it's what the majority support. So they will shift over. Like, again, these aren't the strongest ideologues that you're fighting, but it is important to win them over nonetheless. So to recap here, you have the Conservative Party, which is going on the offensive. That's good. It creates social cover. And it also helps frame the narrative here, because if you're going to win the battle against the radical gender ideologues, it's not going to be one with data here and saying testosterone numbers, this and this and this and this and that. It's going to be one by framing it for what it is. It's medical experiments on kids. It's removal of healthy sex organs from children that makes it more likely for them to kill themselves. And it is a homophobic eugenics program. These are the types of things that you need to say in order to win over support to your side. And the polling will bear it out that the more people learn about this issue, the more likely they are to side with Danielle Smith and now Pierre Poilievre. So well done, the Conservative Party, on figuring this one out. You're a few years late to the party, but better late than never. As long as you got there before 2025, I think everyone will be happy. Like, share the video, click the link in the descriptions below, blah, 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 blah. Join us at the National Telegraph. You know how to press buttons on the internet. Have a good day.